begin with, when we talk about cold chain, why do we need cold chain? The presentation here talks about some of the nuances on that what are the different components of cold chain? Why do we need a cold chain? When I started my career, one of the overlooked crises globally on post-harvest losses present the reason why cold chain is needed. If we talk about the market for fresh fruits and vegetables, which was estimated to be about 1,500 billion USD in 2023, is expected to almost triple by 2029. That is 4,600 billion. In India, we can see that the revenues that are generated from fruits and vegetables is amongst the highest amongst the globe. Uh, though the production has increased, there has been food losses that have been occurring, not just at the harvest level, but towards the whole chain till it reaches to the consumer. So whatever happens, whatever losses that happens till retail is known as food loss, while what happens, the wastage that happens between retail and consumer level is considered as waste, food waste. So if we combine both the food loss and food waste that happens across the chain, we'll see that around 30% of the food that has been grown never reaches to the consumer. And not just the economic level and not just the economics of this food waste that is happening, even this is having a lot of energy, a lot of environment related impacts. So 4.4 gigatons of greenhouse gas emissions happened just because of the food lost and waste put together. More closely on the Indian scenario, the agriculture sector uh, contributes to around 17 to 18% of the country's GDP. It is also one of the largest sector that provides employment to the people. However, the fruits and vegetable losses that are happening grow, are increasing day by day with the production that is happening. If we talk about the NAPCON's report, the estimated monetary loss is close to about 18.5 billion USD. Again, the greenhouse gas emissions associated with this loss is 60 million metric ton carbon dioxide equivalent. Now, where does these losses happen and how much these losses are? At farm level, whatever produce that we have, to the storage, around 10% gets lost on the production level. Further, in handling and packaging and storing, around roughly 25% of the losses happen. While it reaches the consumer, it is only 65% of the produce that was earlier produced. This is the reason why cold chain infrastructure is needed. An integrated cold chain with appropriate technology, with the innovative technology, is a must for supporting the loss that is happening, to prevent the losses that are happening. Talking about the some of the numbers that we have from National Center for Cold Chain Development studies that happened earlier on what cold stores, what different components of cold chain do we have, how much do we are shorting fall off, and what is the primary requirement, primary focus of the uh, uh, country as a whole in terms of cold chain. So what we'll find is that in terms of new development that needs to happen, integrated pack houses, reefer transport, ripening units need to be developed. They are primarily, we are not having not even having the bare minimum that is needed for the production that is happening in the country. While if we talk about one component that is cold store, that is pretty much around 90% we can say is there in the country to cater to the produce that is happening. However, even these cold stores are needing modernization in terms of technology upgradation and expansion, because these have been built in 70s and 80s and have been become pretty old. Now, I would like to talk about some of the activities that AEEE, Alliance for Energy Efficient Economy, is currently focusing on in terms of the new development that needs to happen and the existing cold chain that exist. So there are 3, 4 areas that we are focusing on. One is access to clean cold chain, how to ensure the the access to market happens with the beneficiaries, how to promote more climate friendly technology, and what are some of the scope of integrating the energy efficiency aspects and renewable energy in the existing cold chain and in the upcoming cold chain infra. So my presentation will be focusing on three aspects. One is integrated pack houses, renewable powered micro cold stores, and modernizing the large cold stores. Uh, if we talk about integrated pack houses, the approach that at least we are trying to implement and promote while designing pack houses is to adapt to lean, mean, and green pack house design. Now, this philosophy aims to lower the demand for the resources, provide efficient structure, and deploy innovative technology in order to maximize the uh, resources that we have at hand, and also to supplement the energy requirement from the grid. Now, this talks about three, four factors. If we talk about lean, it's more on the layout optimization, provision for natural lighting, ventilation, effective insulation, and how much energy savings this can help us is around 6% roughly. If we talk about the more energy intensive unit of pack houses, that is the refrigeration system, promoting low energy evaporative cooling systems with control uh, systems in place, semi hermetic reciprocal or scroll compressors for pre cooling and staging room, installations of variable frequency drive in refrigeration unit, and better real-time monitoring and evaluation systems in place can also help us to a saving potential of 30% of the pack house. And then integrating more grid-connected solar power for energy sourcing, other renewable sources like biomass powered or solar thermal energy powered vapor absorption refrigeration system is another way to look at it. The impact these sustainable pack houses might have a potential savings of roughly, I would say, 2.92 terawatt hour by 2037. Efficient equipment and machinery again has a saving potential of 1.97 terawatt hour. And because of these energy saving and close to climate friendly cold chain solutions, we'll be also avoiding emissions of around 2.01 million tons carbon dioxide equivalent. Now, cumulative energy savings up to for the year 2037 is approximately 4.89 terawatt hour, which is like 34 lakh household transition to off grid for a year and one coal-based power plant shut down for a year. I mean, these sort of emissions can be avoided, and this much energy can be saved if we talk about more feel for numbers that how much this energy consumption can be reduced by designing a more sustainable pack houses. We are also suggesting and promoting the stepwise transition towards more sustainable pack houses. So, like currently, if we talk about a pack house, it's run on grid, and the backup that is provided is through diesel generator. With more energy efficient measures in place, a pack house which is energy efficient will be requiring less energy consumed, and thereby the reduction, the sustenance of a pack house on grid electricity and diesel generator uh, would be lowered to the baseline scenario. Moving forward, we are also proposing not just energy efficient pack houses, but addition of renewable sources like the battery storage by solar PV, or by thermal or by biogas that can further help in the increasing efficiency of the pack houses. Now, if we move towards cold rooms, which are more smaller units, I would say roughly 10 metric ton, 20 metric ton cold stores, and usually are at the farm gate level. These are the units that provide cooling or helps in increasing the holding life of the produce to some extent for a transition period from farm to maybe till the time the transport vehicle arrives, or if there is a delay in 2 to 3 days to reach to market. These are places where it can be stored for a shorter duration. Now, a number of times, what happens is that uh, what we've seen, at least in the cold rooms that are being deployed in India and around, is that the deployment that happens mean if we talk about 100 cold rooms being deployed, not even 50, 60 cold rooms are functional or are utilized to the extent they should be. Reason being that while these deployments happened, need assessment wasn't done. Why do we need a cold room? Technology assessment was not taken care of. Solution deployment, what are the inspections in check? commissioning, at the time of commissioning of these cold rooms, have there been parameters checked, what were suggested in the initial uh, discussion and what has been deployed? These are not being taken care of, nor the people who are using the cold rooms are trained or monitored, evaluated, that how these cold rooms will be made efficient, will be working, will what is the business case around these cold rooms. So I'll just give an example of one 10 metric ton solar cold room that was uh, deployed in Darbhanga district of Bihar. And what we saw was that the PVCS, that is the Primary Vegetable Cooperative Society over there, had seen an increase of around 3 to 5%. Again, this number does not reflect the sort of benefit this cold room provided, because it's just the monetary benefits. And this is around a 6-month time duration when we were monitoring it. However, if we see further, we can see a much more um, uh, business sense that has been developed along the community. And they are planning to take up more cold rooms in the union to support more farmers. So this sort of also helped in building their capacity in understanding how a cold room should function, what are some of the cost benefits, how are the emissions avoided, what sort of produce losses they can save if they deploy a cold room. So this study more focused on the applications of the solar powered cold room. Now, the learnings that we found through these discussions, through these deployments, we came up with these procurement guidelines for micro cold rooms, specifically for horticulture. These are more like evaluation guidelines which can help you understand what are the needs, what should be taken care. Like the 4 steps that I talked about here: need assessment, technology assessment, solution deployment, training, monitoring, and evaluation of the uh, so moving away from the new developments that are happening and focusing more on the existing cold stores. Uh, you may have so these cold stores needs to be modernized, needs to be upgraded, uh, which in which is not just technology upgradation, but also that can help in enhancing their efficiency, capacity, and technology capabilities. Now, if we talk about the large cold stores significance in India, the total capacity of 31 lakh metric tons is there, which includes both bulk and hub cold stores. And these are being run at a very old and efficient traditional technologies, so need to be advanced. Now, some of the key aspects to be considered while modernizing these cold stores is: number one, how we can integrate energy efficiency in the different aspects of cold stores, how advanced refrigeration technologies can be incorporated, what sort of storage management can be improved, can we make it multi-chambered than single chambered, more produce can be brought in, more type of produce can be brought in rather than just storing potatoes, that can help in increasing the utilization of these cold stores. How can designs be made more modular, more flexible? What sort of compliance and food safety measures can be adopted? In terms of moving towards cleaner energy, how can those aspects be integrated? Maybe renewable energy integration can happen. And then uh, how technology, blockchain technology, AI can be introduced to further uh, uh, improve the overall efficiency of cold stores. Now, looking at the different intensive areas, energy intensive areas of cold stores, these are the energy saving potential. If we see at the refrigeration system, 35 to 40% of energy can be saved if they are made more energy efficient. At envelope level, by installing more PUF insulation panels, airtight horizontal insulated doors with air curtains, 5 to 10% of the energy savings can happen. And then if we have these PLC controller systems in place, another 5% energy saving potential can be seen. This is just an example of a statewide. Uttar Pradesh is one of the state which is having largest number of cold stores. So the type of savings that it may have due to the cold store modernization. Uh, Closing up my discussion on why AEEE is working on these aspects and some of the SDGs that we are focusing on is: how can nutrition be ensured by developing a sustainable cold chain? Good health and well-being can be kept. practice and promotion of affordable clean energy, responsible consumption and production, and how climate action can be brought in by working towards the goal of developing a sustainable and climate friendly cold chain. Thank you.